It is about that time. Get that tone down. Make sure we're not blowing anyone's ears out. And let's get rolling with the Vision Corsa Tuesday night IndyCar Racing Series presented by the Prodigy Racing Association. Thomas Cuthbert here, also known as Orion I, to bring you this race. It's race 11 of 12 in the Prodigy Racing Association. Let's run through the info quickly. Dallara IR18, a 50-50 mix of road courses and ovals. It's 13 races total, including the All-Star race. A total prize pool of $375. First gets $130, second gets $75, third gets $40, fourth gets $20, fifth gets $10. You get $50 for the most points in an oval race and a $50 bonus for a victory at Daytona, which has been paid out. We run on Tuesday nights. We use the Eastern time zone, so it is currently 8:55 p.m. at the moment. Sorry for being a little bit late for this, but we're still ready nonetheless. We use realistic weather, so whatever the forecast for the location of the event is at the time we're going, guess what? That's the weather we're running. We have had some pretty good luck as far as the weather is concerned. No rain has really hit the areas that we've gone to, which is a big bonus. That's nice. It helps. Cool. 75% fuel capacity, meaning all the drivers will have to, at some point today, pit. All tires will be available for the drivers. Oval races will have a green and white checkered flag, but only one of them will be available to the drivers. We got to make one quick change. That's not what we're looking for. We go here. We're going to go here. There we go. Bingo. Okay, just wanted to change up one little thing that we're going to get to soon, but not quite yet. We've also got the Lucky Dog and Wave Around rules. We haven't really seen them around in a little while. I see a new driver in the list. I will double check if he's even in here, but for now, the main focus is going to be that we're very close to getting started. So, let me get that guy's name. All right. Good. Now, let us continue. We've got more point stuff to talk about. Top 5 qualifiers will earn points for the event. It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The race points go 45 gets first, 40 second, 1 point per position dropped from there on out. It's hot in here. I'm getting a fan on. And as I will probably need to, is we should have some very exciting action taking place today. We'll get to that in a moment. Bonus points. You get 1 for leading a lap, 1 for leading the most laps, 1 for scoring the fastest lap of the day. And you get 5 points for leading halfway through all oval races. That will not be relevant for today. Last place provisional point system is active. Races 2, 6, 8, and 12 will be double points, so the final race of the season will be double points, and severe caution violations can result in last place points being given to you. This is what a doubles points race would look like. Qualifying would stay 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 races. Race points are going to be doubled for next week, which means that first we'll get 90, second 80, and you'll drop 2 points per position from there. An oval bonus will have 5 points for leading after the halfway mark, and the rest of the bonuses will stay as is. One last thing, the caution system. Ovals use iRacing caution. Road courses use PRA caution, meaning a multi-car crash is going to be what results in the caution flag. Multiple single car spins in different parts of the track or at the same part of the track if they both do a bit of a synchronous dance, so to speak. That's not going to result in a caution flag coming out. All laps under caution will count, and ending another racer's race while under the caution will see you get thrown out, parked, and given last place points. We head to Laguna Seca. Next week will be the Thanksgiving break, and then will be Michigan. We've got 30 laps on Laguna Seca today, and so let us hop on in. We're in the final minute of our race today, but before we get there, we've got a few other things to go through. For example, we've got drivers to meet. Entering the league last week was Robert Hensley in the 00. Min Hang in the 1, Daniel Borger-Pepping in the 2. Richard Murray the 4, Vittorio Guilherme the 5, Landon Lacey the 6, the 07 driven by Roger Saucier, and the 007 driven by Ali Chastain. Cody Linscott pilots the 8, Joe Nerton the 10, Marlo Duncan in the 12, Andrew Clark the 13, Jimmy Sallow the 14. There is a driver on the track, not on this list. In the number 15 car is Bob Gangwer. In the 18 car is Aaron Fontaine. Mitchell Hamilton in the 21. Matthew Morgan, the 22. Driving the 025 is George Griffiths. Driving the 25 is Adam Miller. Kyle Deckard in the 26. The 27 driven by Aiden Hill. 28, Micah Mixer. And the 29, Rodney Roberts. Jeffrey Goodpaster in at the 33. Javier Lopez, the 36. The Season 2 champion, Alex Jones, pilots the 45, leaving the 1 behind. Guillermo Perret will drive the 52. And newcomer, originally from Time to Race, a Czech league in stock car racing, Petr Smetana will join us in that at 53. Nick Polliard pilots the 55. Parker Dime, the 57. Morgan Smith, the 58. Fozzie Fazillo, the 61. Byron Bailey, the 64. Thomas Coonan is in the 68. Matthias Marcumini in the 77. Jacob Schneider in the 81. Daniel Blanco, the 82. 86, driven by Brian Young. Spencer Torrance, Duncan's teammate, in at the 120. Austin Diltz drives the 144. Brandon Farley, the 327. And Brad Morath in the 384. And before we get any further, we've got one more thing to do. We've got to talk about, well, first of all, we have 3 drivers that are said to be out for this race. Aaron Fontaine, Rodney Roberts, and Brad Morath both independently said they will be out for this race at Laguna Seca, so their presence will be missed, but they'll hopefully still be in the back, keeping an eye on everything, making sure that this race stays nice and clean. But also, we will double-check that with the qualifying standings, because this may be incorrect. Rodney Roberts was on the track for the practice session. Your standings heading into Week 11. George Griffiths leads the way with 493. The next highest is Marlo Duncan with 466. Aiden Hill currently holds the final podium spot, sitting at 453 points. In at 452 is Adam Miller and Spencer Torrance in P5 with the 444 for the final cash prize spot. The 419 points collected by Brad Morath puts him at 6th. Rodney Roberts in at 7th with 417. Jacob Schneider's got 399 in at the 81. Currently, Jacob Schneider also is in serious trouble for potentially losing his all-time race wins position in the Prodigy Racing Association. He stands at P8 in the series. Brandon Farley in at P9 with 392. Nick Polliard rounds out the top 10 with 373. In 11th is Jimmy Salla with 367. Joe Nerton has moved up to 12th with 365 as Marcumini fell 3 spots. Polliard moving up to the top 10. Marcumini in 13th. Matthias with 348. Roger Saucier's got 273 and at P14. Min Hang in 15th with 191. Alex Jones, Guillermo Perret, Aaron Fontaine, Landon Lacey, and Byron Bailey round out the top 20. 21 to 30. Daniel Blanco, Micah Mixer, Brian Young, Ali Chastain, Kyle Deckard, Parker Dime, Matthew Morgan, Andrew Clark, Javier Lopez, and Vitor Guillerme. And to finish up our standings, a new driver enters the list as Robert Hensley competed last week, picking up 32 points. Austin Diltz, Thomas Coonan, Morgan Smith, Fozzie Fazillo, and Mitchell Hamilton. Now, we've got some things to do. First off, you need to go over there. And you, my buddy, you're coming over here, and we're going to get a look at some of the drivers on the track. We're headed to Guillermo Perret. And let us not waste any more time. Let's get into it. That's not correct. I see we have a minor problem here. First and foremost, hello, everyone. Welcome to the back end, and welcome to the track. Welcome to graphics driver updates that you don't pay attention to. Looking on at Guillermo Perret at the moment, who had some trouble in his last lap. Will be on the flying lap again, so we'll need some time to collect a lap time. Here's new driver Bob Gangwer, driving the 15 frontline car. And trading paint is up, but we are going to do a refresh. Just make sure everything is as it should be. I saw the Team Canada car in George Griffiths, who currently holds the top spot, a 107.777, just clocked for Griffiths. And yep, that is correct. Let's go to Griffith's car for now. George Griffiths leads the way, a road course king at the moment. I am curious as to the oval standings, more importantly, though. And hopefully we'll get that for you when we head to Michigan next week. Laguna Seca, one of the most infamous tracks in iRacing, and I believe also was a free track for a long time. I think that has changed, if I'm not mistaken. But this track has been infamous. It's used across several of iRacing's official series, from the lowest levels of cars, the MX-5, the good old Miata, all the way up to the top, and we've got it here with the IR-18, good old IndyCar racing at Laguna Seca. Guillermo Perez currently at second on the board with a 108.723, I think. But that has changed. George Griffiths will take the lead, 107.495, and will park the car for now. Our second place driver in the standings, Marlo Duncan. Hello to you, ma'am. Crossing the line, trying to catch on up. Has some time to work with. No. Doesn't think that she's going to get any faster. Oh, wait, right. I forget. You get 3 laps. And these laps are about 1:10. So she's probably actually done. Currently holds 4th at the moment as Marcumini shot on up. Here's Guillermo Perez, who takes that second place spot and will park it. Bob Gangwer currently holding 11th at the moment. 11 drivers registered for today. Rodney Roberts and Austin LeBlanc will be in the back for admin role purposes. So Rodney Roberts will likely be dropping a couple spots in the standings, but that is the expectation. And I believe we are about ready to roll for our race, but Gangwer, of course, needs to finish up the laps. Had a few incidents on the board, but it seems your qualifying positions are about ready to roll. Gangwer's final time will not eclipse the fastest he's put on. Does he have another lap? I think he's got one more. Oh, never mind. He might have had one more, but then binned it. So this qualifying lap, he's done. And I think that's it. Well, here's Jimmy Sallow. Was also taking part in the Sunset Bend Street Stock Series. Also joined by Marlo Duncan, who currently sits in P5, as Pauliard sneaks on up to 4th in the qualifying standings. Sallow's final time. Well, this could be the last lap we're watching right now. So let's watch on. Click. We got a little bit goofy around here. Aiden Hill has sneaked on up to 4th. And has robbed Duncan of the qualifying points. We didn't see that going coming. I didn't think Aiden Hill was on the track. Although Aiden Hill had qualified. I think we're sitting at 8th at the moment. And then shot on up to 4th, and Duncan out of qualifying point contention. One last turn for Jimmy Sallow. The final time, will it eclipse the best lap? It will not. So a 1:01.170, I believe, will be Sallow's best time, unless this lap also counts, in which case Sallow started really late with his qualifying, which would work. Roberts is in the session, but will not be driving. 11 drivers today. This is going to help out big time. We did, of course, see Brad Morath is also going to be out for this race, has registered for last place points, and so at the moment is actually still looking to be in a pretty good spot, because 40 points for second place will need to drop 10 positions. Oh, goodbye. Yep, that is going to bin it. Goodbye. Does hit the wall, and that will be the end of Sallow's qualifying. 1:11.170 will be the fastest time he puts on. I do not believe any other drivers are on the track. That is, in fact, the case. So this is your qualifying grid. George Griffiths in pole position with a 107.495. Guillermo Perez with a 108.426. Matthias Marcumini in with a 4.76. Aiden Hill, a 6.43. Pollard in a 109. I think this is a 109.111. No, 101. It is 111. I don't know. 111. Yeah, we figured out numbers. We did it. You can clip that all you want. I don't care. Maybe I care a little bit. And with that, you'll get to see our good little qualifying graphic. Show us the grid. It's George Griffiths in pole position with Guillermo Perez joining him on row 1 to start Laguna Seca. Matthias Marcumini shoots on up to 3rd in qualifying. Aiden Hill takes 4th for row 2. On row 3, it'll be Nick Pollard in P5. That livery's not correct, in P6. Try to get those refreshed. That's Alex Jones in P7 on row 4, joined by Adam Miller. In at P8, it's Joe Nerton and Jimmy Sallow for row 5. I need to make a scene where that track map is not on there. And Gangwer will be the final car on the track. Rodney Roberts. Oh, you can actually see it on the graphic. My heart. And there's Austin LeBlanc as well. Austin LeBlanc and Rodney Roberts have the cars in the garage, and they will not be racing. They'll be up in the spotter's box, keeping an eye out on all the cars. Probably a better eye than I have. So you will see them occasionally pop up. George Griffiths in pole position will start on the left side, on the inside of turn 1. Waiting for Perez to hit the track, and then LeBlanc can register in, then hop out. There's Perez. All we need is Austin LeBlanc to do the same. Never mind. Rodney Roberts is on the track and has not left the track. I was kind of waiting for Austin LeBlanc to actually show up and actually race for like a lap. So while they're going around, I'll explain what I'm talking about. If we go to the standings, the final... Oh, never mind. Okay, nope, forget what I was saying. I did not realize they were going right at the last turn of Laguna Seca. The pace car is in. The cars go around the final bend. Perez is going to try to move on up to get as close to Griffiths as possible. The green flag is waved. Let's get rolling. Laguna Seca underway. We've got 30 laps to go. And it's George Griffiths who gets a solid start in at T1. Everyone's starting to jumble up for position. Marlo Duncan in at P5 tries to go through the middle of 3 and has P5 on hold for now. A little bit of chaos in the background, but they have all gotten through. And Griffiths already getting a massive advantage right out of the gate. Already a second lead over now Marcumini as Perez in a battle with Hill. Hill on the outside with Duncan very close behind. Everyone trying to shuffle in, and a big hit onto Perez. He's been knocked off the track by Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill's front wing sliced in half on the contact with Perez. And Guillermo Perez down to 12th is going to have to limp it home. Aiden Hill's going to have some aerodynamic trouble as well, with half of that front wing missing. Pandemonium already in lap 1. And there's so much more race to do. No caution flag comes out as the one car that got seriously impacted is off the track. Aiden Hill is going to stay out there. He seems to be okay with what the car is doing with only half a wing. Meanwhile, Perez stuck in 12th. Thankfully, a mostly undamaged car towards the front. And Duncan does get by Aiden Hill at turn 1. And now the true challenge begins for Marlo Duncan. Trailing big time in the points to George Griffiths. Needs a massive performance today to better her chances heading into Michigan as Aiden Hill has fallen back, and it looks like that wing is starting to become a problem. Pollard close behind. It was Adam Miller to get by him. And there goes another spot. Pollard up to 5th. Aiden Hill may end up in the pits very soon. Ends up in the back of Pollard. And nearly gets hit by Jones as well. Aiden Hill's having a rough start to this race as Pollard ends up as the next victim. Joe Nerdenhart on the outside of Jones goes on the inside and takes the spot away. And Hill will be heading to pit lane and may end up being taken out of the race. We'll have to wait and see on that for sure. On screen is also the fastest laps on the board from all drivers involved. We'll wait for confirmation on that, but for now, we've got a few things to go through. As Bob Gangler ended up also having some trouble, but is back and rolling, which is good to see. Nerton with a bit of an off track, but is okay. And Alex Jones, how are you missing half your wing? Jimmy Sallow on the right side and looks to get by and will, maybe not yet. Well, this corner coming on up, you don't want to try and go too wide. Jones gets through it okay, so Jones may be sticking around. Well, Duncan's had trouble. He's off the track by the corkscrew. Well, this race has already just thrown itself into a meat grinder. All righty then. Well, we've got a few things to go over. So, first let's get you off the board so we can just focus in on what in the world just happened. Let's go backwards. Let's start with the incident that just happened with Duncan. Just an overshoot. Just missed the braking point, braked a little too hard. Ended up way out and nearly spun it on the way back onto the track. Now let's go to Pollard. This is Aiden Hill we're keeping an eye on. And just doesn't slow down enough. Clips the back end of Pollard and knocks him out. And I believe it was Guillermo Perret who had the same problem. So let's go to Perret. Am I missing something? I must be missing something. Oh, that's a different one. That's why it threw me off. That's qualifying. Okay, let's try this again. So Perret gets by Aiden Hill on the right side. Then as they head into the turn, Aiden Hill tries to make a move on the inside. It's just not there. It's just not there and clips the back end and goodbye Perret. So Aiden Hill at the moment holding on to 12th after exiting the pits. And unsure if there's going to be a penalty against Hill. What is going on? Hello, Aaron. Not going to be here long. Just getting the streak call. What a start. What a start indeed. Good to see you, Aaron. Congrats on the 450 channel points with the Prodigy Racing Association. I'm sure those points will go to great use. Let's move up the field a little bit as Perret's car's having some trouble. And it looks like that's the damage from the contact with Aiden Hill, if I'm not mistaken. Could be, could not be. Not 100% certain. I think Perret, did he show up on the boarding? He did not. Couple off tracks, couple independent crashes that have taken place. Pollard in 8th right now. Oh, someone had some smoky tires. Oh, Sinalo! Oh, the net code causes a big collision with Perret. And then the slowdown drives Pollard into Sallow. Oh, goodbye, Sallow. Well, okay. It's one of those races. Folks, it's one of those races. Why is Jones registering as 77 seconds behind? There it goes. Rodney Roberts is now 80 seconds behind. That's the weird pitting stuff. So Bob Gangler will move up to 8th as 3 cars have pitted. I have a feeling Perret is not long for this session. Pollard's out of the box as the faster pair has been used. Meanwhile, up at the front, George Griffiths is doing George Griffiths things. Even a little bit slow out of that turn. This is George doing George things. George Griffiths currently the undisputed king of the road courses, and looks to hold on to that. As Pollard has some trouble by T1, and will now become, that's not Pollard, that's Perret. Pollard and Perret have both had an incident on the board happen at the same time. And Perret, yep, there it is, taking the toe, and I think is headed out of the session. There's Pollard. Jimmy Sallow will go a lap down as well, as Gangler has seemingly had some trouble. Yeah, there's evidence of going off the track in the back. But currently holds on to 9th. Nice and easy around turn 1. Doesn't want to upset the car too much. Austin, if you can hear me, buddy, one lap. One lap around the track. One lap in Michigan is all I ask. We will update the standings live. I don't care. I will crunch the numbers myself live here. I will put it on the screen, no less. And with 23 laps to go, we have already pretty much settled into exactly as we expected. That was a lie. Matthias Marcamini, to his credit, he's been having a really solid race so far. Holds on to second right now, a 7-second lead over third on the red walls. As Jimmy Sallow will pass by Pollard, who went to the pits. And so we're going to have a look at the incident that saw Guillermo Perret bring an end to his time. Adam Miller? Hold on, wait, what happened to Adam Miller? Okay, a vanishing act. He's back. Let's have a look at the incident that saw Guillermo Perret call it a day. So this is Perret heading out of the pits, a little bit hard out of the pits. Oh. I see. Interesting. And then I think got a black flag for not exiting the pits properly. And then was just like, you know what? I'm done. Let's go to Aiden Hill, battling alongside Alex Jones. Nicely backs off before it gets a little bit too crazy. Around the final turn, looks for the over-under move, not there. Ooh, a little bit slippy-slidey on the exit. I think Aiden Hill's still going to look for a move on the inside of turn 1. That time gets by, and that is a nice, clean move from Aiden Hill. And that'll make it a 6th place spot for Aiden Hill. As Alex Jones ended up off the track a little bit. Oh, half that wing is still missing. That is probably why. Oh, my God. LeBlanc, no. There's been, yeah. It registered him on the board for a hot second on iOverlay. I don't think he actually went out there. But I know you hear me, Austin. The reason I mention this is if we go to the standings, we're going to have time to go to the standings because right now, Roberts is pretty much the only one challenging for a spot, about a second behind Jones and losing ground in that battle. The back and forth. If we go to the standings here, this standings is all based on scoring points. If you score any points at all, if you have more than 0 points in the standings, you're on the board. Austin LeBlanc would actually score quite a few points if he went on the track today. In fact, I think he would jump up to 33rd. I think he would score 29. I think. But anyway, let's get back to the track. Marlo Duncan's catching up quickly. And now is in the slipstream of Marcomini. Marcomini ended up on the crash board. And we'll get a look at that a little bit later. But for now, Duncan's going to go for the move on the inside and makes it stick. Although Marcomini is going to get her right back at the exit of turn 1. Duncan on the inside heading into turn 2 and 3. Nice and easy. We'll now look to hold on to this as we've got 20 laps to go at Laguna Seca. George Griffiths holds the lone point for leading a lap. And so let's have a look at the incident that saw Marcomini fall down to the point where Duncan could not only initiate the battle, but take the position. It's the corkscrew. And it's a spin out at the corkscrew. And rejoins the circuit, although let's get back to live. Has caught right back up heading into the final turn. Fakes a move on the inside. Duncan doesn't bite. But Duncan with a much smoother exit. Marcomini a little bit late on the gas. Falls down to about half a second behind. Next man to talk about, Joe Nerton, has been moving on up in the standings. He's been a consistent driver, has been around the top 10. Oh, Marcomini has gotten around Duncan, who seemed to have had some trouble. There's an off track on the board, so let's have a look at it. A bit of understeer heading into that corner, and Marcomini with a swift move gets by and takes P2 right back. And here's Rodney Roberts, saddle behind in lap traffic, as Adam Miller does lose the spot to Joe Nerton. I'm very good at this. Let's go back to Roberts, though, who's got Alex Jones in front. Rodney Roberts also just one of the kindest souls around. Let me see if I can get the proper camera angle for this. Let's try rear right. Look at that. On the bottom of your screen, do you see that? Just, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Rodney. That means a ton. That means a ton you actually put my logo on your car. Marcomini did it too. Marcomini did it too. These guys are just amazing. We're going to look on with Marlo Duncan, who now stands about a second back as Joe Nerton's had some trouble and is off the track. Last I checked, you're not supposed to be there. What happened? Well, Jimmy Salas had a double incident. But let's focus on the battle between Alex Jones and Rodney Roberts that has swiftly ended because Alex Jones has gone to the pitch. So, Joe Nerton, you're first up. What happened to you? Adam Miller behind. Just kind of washes out at turn 1. Looks like a bit of understeer. Slides in the gravel a little bit. And that is how Adam Miller will take the spot. Here's Aiden Hill. P6. Probably a watchful eye glaring at him for this race. As we go back up to the top 3, Marlo Duncan. Oh! A little bit of a spin on the exit of turn 1. Hard on the gas on exit. And spun the tires a little bit. Those tires are not going to be happy, I'll tell you that much. And now Griffiths is starting to really stamp his name at the top of the road courses. Rodney Roberts has been lapped. There are now 6 cars on the lead lap. 6. Woo! You saw Rodney Roberts there in the back. Why is the stream so crunchy? Why are you so crunchy? There we go. Okay, now it looks fine. It's fine. I do hope in future we'll have a better setup for these. The card I have is just, it's just not there. It's just not there. Yeah, George Griffiths right now is just putting on a show. 22.5-second lead to Mark Camini. 6 drivers, lapped. LeBlanc doesn't count. It's just going to show LeBlanc on the track because it has to. That's why LeBlanc shouldn't have registered as a racer. It's 9:30 p.m. at the moment. We are halfway through this race at Laguna Seca. So about 16 more minutes, maybe 20. We'll go 20 more minutes. Pollard has crashed the car. What happened here? Uh-oh. Oh, too much curb. That's a pretty good save, though. Marlo Duncan entering the pits for the fuel stop. There's Aiden Hill looking for a move on Joe Nerton on the inside. And Joe Nerton giving a little bit extra room. Lets Aiden Hill by. I imagine Miller's going to be fine in third, and Aiden Hill is probably going to get a penalty at some point, if I had to guess. So back on is Duncan. It's going to be a bit awkward here at the exit of T1. Duncan is ahead. Stays on the red walls. Aiden Hill looks for a move on the inside. Marlo Duncan still ahead for now. Let's get on board. Looks for the over-under. It's not there. Now we get into that turn. Let's watch on from Joe Nerton. A little bit wide there, and what happened to the car of Aiden Hill? It looked like something fell off on the inside of the corkscrew, giving room to Duncan on the right side. And gets ahead. What flew off? Something flew off there. What was that? Goodbye, Joe. So let's run it back here. We're going to go from Pollard and work our way up the grid. So this is out of the exit of pits for Duncan. We're going to fast forward a little bit. We just want to get up towards the corkscrew. Oh, that was Aiden Hill clipping the rear wheel of Duncan. Something ripped off and then reattached. Okay. Anyway, Rodney Roberts is in the pits, so Bob Gangwer up to 7th. Nice and easy around turn 1. That's actually not bad. Mark Camini in the pits. George Griffith still on the track. Hey, bud. Joe Nerton has been lapped. Marlo Duncan has had some trouble around the final turn. Aiden Hill in the pits. And Duncan will move on up to 3rd. "13 laps to go." It is about to be 3 drivers on the lead lap. We'll just ignore the fact that George Griffiths has to pit. I think Griffiths is actually trying to play the points game so hard in preventing anyone from getting the lead lap point. I would almost put money on that. So Joe Nerton is registering as out for the session right now. We'll see if he comes back, but right now, Gangwer's in 6th. That's 36 points. Well, here's Jimmy Sallow. If anyone's got word on what in the world happened to Nerton, let me know. Who's pinging me? So here is Marlo Duncan holding on to third right now, second in the standings. Mark Camini currently in second place for the race. There's Pollard in the back. Yeah, there are 4 cars on the lead lap. And I have a feeling George is very close to Aiden Hill. So George Griffiths has yet to pit. There's 10 laps left. Three-second gap between Marlo Duncan and Matthias Marcumini. Marcumini currently sitting about 30 seconds behind George Griffiths, who is just tearing it up. He's still not pitting. He's still not pitting, guys. Guys, he's still not pitting. This is ridiculous. Ah, okay. So Guillermo Pere was in the chat in the server, was trying to let George know that so if we go back to the incident that saw Pere leave the server, where is it? We need to go to, I think it's this one. That right there. What Pere is saying, he did not quite switch the mindset of you're on cold tires, you need to be slower and take your time. That's what Pere's message was saying. That's in a different chat. Here's Marlo Duncan. Look, I want to just follow George until he pits. He does have to pit. Or does he? Like, wait, guys. Like, we made sure he has to pit, right? Bob Gangwer in front at the moment. Gangwer back to P8 for this race. We'll try to get out of George's way. Hard on the apex, and Griffiths just rips it by him. George, you're pitting, right? Marlo Duncan, Marcumini, actually. Racer of the day, Matthias Marcumini. Just saying. I'm not even saying that because, let me go back to it. I'm not even saying that because you put the frog on the car on the bottom left of your screen. I'm not saying it's because of the frog. He's running second right now. Matthias Marcomini in the standings sits about 13th and is pretty much having the race of his life at the moment, holding on to second place, 40 points about to be locked up for him. Does this man need to pit? I'm going to lose my mind. My bad. You didn't need to see that. I'm just sitting here waiting for him to go into the pit lane, go in for like 5 seconds, and Marcomini to still be behind. I think that's what George is actually trying to set up. The gap is expanding, kind of. This dude's going to drive me insane. I swear, he is not pitting. He refuses to pit. Am I being taught, like, is he trying to teach me a lesson or something? Does this man need to pit ever? Has he just been pitting out of courtesy before and has had enough? Okay, well, what would be nice is if I could actually see the pit stop times, but I took that away. I took that away from myself. That's on me. Lordy Lou, this is, yeah. So this race was a whole lot of what in the world just happened, and now we have settled into, it's a race. Duncan is losing ground. Duncan is, it seems to be not going to be able to fight for second place. Matthias Marcomini extends that gap to 6 seconds. And with 6 laps to go, we basically are waiting for George to go into the pits. Oh my God. Did George pit before and I just never noticed? No, you're not giving us ads. I mean, technically, honestly, the time isn't that bad, but we're just getting rid of that anyway. Because we're about to be pretty close to the end of this race. As George Griffiths, a 32-second... Oh, my God, that's Aiden Hill. On screen there for a moment was Aiden Hill. We're just going to watch George for the rest of the race. I don't see a reason to go anywhere else. That was a bit of an off track. Nerton is, is vanished, is gone. Is George pitting? Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Is he trying to lap Aiden Hill before going to the pits? Or has he figured out the secret sauce to never needing to pit? Because that may actually be a problem for him if he did figure out a way to not need to pit. That was Salo who was exiting the pit lane. What more is there to say? It's just dominance from George Griffiths as he maintained throughout all of the road courses. Nerton and Perret exiting the race. Austin LeBlanc refusing to register a lap. Almost to spite me at this point, which I'm reaching a point I'm going to put you on the board with 0. Because it's funny. We're going on board. We're going on board with George. I think he's on a fuel save. In fact, I have an idea. How are the lap times? About a second difference. Oh, my God. Guys, I think George isn't pitting. I genuinely don't think he's going to pit this race. On screen right now are the last lap and best laps of all the drivers on the day. Griffiths a league above the field. A 107.5 is his best. The next closest is a 108.9. 3 laps to go. Griffiths making his way to the corkscrew. Just nothing but dominance from the 0.25. There's a reason he made it to Team Canada for an esports tournament. I mean, there's a very good reason why. The man has racked up 5,300 iRating in open wheel. I am going to lose my mind over this. We're watching him the rest of the race, I hope you know. Oh, Gangler had a crash. Sad. There are 4 drivers on the lead lap. Aiden Hill is in trouble. Did you see how close he is? Oh, guys. I think George is going to pass him. So we're just going to watch on as he does. Because how are the lap times looking? Well, Aiden Hill just put on his best at a 109.0, which is still 0.2 slower than the last lap George put on. Into the corkscrew. I think that is also Aiden Hill catching up to Rodney Roberts. So Roberts is about to go down 2 laps, and Aiden Hill's about to be lapped. Roberts gets out of the way. The white flag is out, and Roberts is going to have to watch on as Griffiths will begin his final lap. No pit stop on the board for Griffiths. Aiden Hill is going to let him go. George Griffiths will begin effectively the first victory lap. Oh, God. Aiden Hill, watch it. Watch it. He did. I want to go to the side of his car for a moment. I can't. That's not what I was looking for. The gearbox isn't going to help us out. We can look at him all we want. You can't see the side of his car, really. Into the corkscrew. The Canada flag on the side of the car. 2 turns to go. George Griffiths with a pitless victory at Laguna Seca. Wins it in convincing fashion. 36-second gap to second place. And Matthias Marcumini putting on a performance of a lifetime. Into the corkscrew now. Will make his way through the course. A performance to be proud of for Matthias Marcumini. Rounds the final corner, heads to the finish line. Matthias Marcumini in second place for today. We'll get to hear from him later on, hopefully. Speaking of which, I need to actually get myself ready for that. Why did that go off? Do not disturb. You betrayed me. How dare you? Oh, they changed that. Okay. I wasn't ready for that. And that is going to do it. George Griffiths, your winner for today's race. Marcumini in second. And it is Marlo Duncan who takes third. Couple more drivers will make their way through the track. On the board, there you have it. Griffiths, Marcumini, Duncan, Hill, Miller, Jones, Roberts, Gangwer, Sallow, Pollard, Nerton, Perret. So Marlo Duncan is in that chat. I'm going to wait a little while they get themselves settled in. I think Gangwer and Pollard are the last ones on the track. So we'll get to see Bob Gangwer going through the final few turns. Takes it nice and easy. Gangwer just wants to make it to the line. Bob Gangwer, nothing to be ashamed of today. 34 points on the day in his debut in the IndyCar series here in Season 3. He's going to take it nice and smooth and head to pit lane. Congratulations to him. Pollard will park it in for 10th. And now it'll just be a wait and see. Oh, no. Looks like someone had some trouble with the packets, which is sad to see. I think that is Adam Miller, if I'm not mistaken. And it is. Yeah, Adam Miller with packet loss. Great. Understandable frustration out of Aiden Hill. And that is your final grid for today. And so it is about time. Let me actually double check that everyone is ready to roll. So I'm being told that George did actually pit. And so I apologize for all the misinformation because I just straight missed it. All right, so we're going to drag everyone in, and we're going to start with our third-place driver. Welcome on in, third place, Marlo Duncan. Good to see you again, Marlo. No, maybe a little bit more frustrating stretch throughout the IndyCar series, but a good bounce-back race back up on the podium. How are you feeling after today?
Definitely good to have a nice result like this after the 24-carat run of bad luck that I've had the past like 4 or 5 weeks since I think Homestead. I haven't finished in the top 10 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, we also saw some of that cross over into a different series as well. But now, hopefully, a few demons exercised with the podium finish. So congrats
Hopefully.
on that one. The points, though, are you worried about heading into Michigan? Are you still ready to fight for that final first-place spot, or are you just happy to settle in where you're at?
I did the math, and if George just shows up, he wins. So, I mean, I just gotta pray his internet goes out or something. You know?
I hear you. But, well, still, regardless, congrats. I also want to mention Mark Camini as well, since we don't really get to see him too much. How much of a fight did he put up with you to hold on to second?
It was a very fun fight. After I think he went off in the corkscrew, we kind of duked it out there for a little bit, and then my tires started to fall off, and then just kind of ended up settling for third.
Understandable. Well, still, congratulations to you on the third-place finish. We'll bring in our winner since Matthias is unavailable for today. If you want to stick around and chat with George, you're more than welcome to. But for now, let's bring in George. Our winner at Laguna Seca in convincing fashion, George Griffiths. Welcome in and congratulations on the victory. What was that? What in the world? Good Lord.
Yeah, that was a pretty good race on my end.
That's a way to put it. You had a 36-second lead at the end of it.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't know how this race was going to go coming into it. I didn't do a lot of practice, like 30 minutes, if I'm being honest. I got home at like 8:15 and booted up the sim and then hopped on for some practice and found speed pretty quickly.
Now, I first and foremost apologize because I thought for a second you straight didn't even pit for the entire race. No, I just straight missed it. I'm fairly certain. You pitted around like the middle of the race. Is that about correct?
Lap 17, yeah. I
Lap
did.
17.
I tried to go for the fastest lap with push to pass and light fuel, but the tires just didn't want to turn, so ended up going 2 extra laps, trying to get that fastest lap.
So I apologize for the misinformation that's going to go out there for basically the entire second half of the race. But right now, you're sitting in a very comfortable spot in the points. You locked up not only the victory for today, but a clean sweep of the points with all the bonus points on the board and the top qualifying position. How comfortable are you heading into Michigan?
I'd say I'm fairly comfortable. First in the championship. I don't know what the gap is like after this race. It's probably around maybe 50, I'd say. Michigan, I don't even remember driving it before. I don't know if I own it or not. But yeah, I'll just try and do some practice and get comfortable for that race.
Well, I believe it is a more standard oval. I'm not the smartest at this, believe it or not. The main thing that I do is yell at what's in front of me. But I think Michigan is a more standard oval. Not quite Homestead Miami size, but I also don't think nearly as small as Iowa. So good luck to you on that one.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, that one is going to be a double points race. So we talked to Duncan a little bit. Basically, the only way that you miss is if you basically have an internet outage before the race, but also it's double points. So you better hope that it's a small field if you want to guarantee it just by showing up.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I've had some fairly convincing finishes in the oval races.
That is true.
On my
Yeah,
hand, so
I know.
I'm pretty comfortable heading into it.
Very, very understandable. Well, I wish you the best of luck heading into the next race for Michigan. It will not be next week. We have the Thanksgiving break. Just want to remind you and everyone else out here, we are off for next week because we're taking the week off for Thanksgiving. Every series is going to be taking that break. And it'll be in December. So first race in December. Make sure you don't let yourself rust up a little too much.
I can't promise that.
That is very fair. Well, regardless, best of luck to you in the next race in December. I'm going to let you head on out of here and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night to you as well. And for the rest of you all here, we are headed to one last race. We're going to be off next week. It's the Thanksgiving break, the final race of the season. And as a reminder for you all, it is going to be a double points race. Michigan, 40 laps is our final race of the season, December 2nd. We'll get this stream started at 8:30 p.m. here on the PRA Network. I'm Thomas Cuthbert, also known as Orion I, and I will see you in 2 weeks.